Bortle here. We have Ruben, the winner of the PPG championship over the weekend. My goodness, with the rock deck. This is just insane. So, yes, introduce yourself back to the channel, man.
So my name's Ruben. Threw a couple rocks this weekend, made a little bit of money, played some Yu-Gi-Oh. No big deal.
A little bit of money. How much money to be exact?
2 grand. I mean, not to swear or anything, but kind of nice.
Wow, that is just insane. Playing Yu-Gi-Oh online for like what, 2 days, or not even a full 2 days?
A full YCS experience, basically just at home. The worst part is you're not really with your friends, but it's just as fun being able to play online, and the chance to win cash prizes is great.
Okay, sweet. Well, noticing the previous week, Cameraman Neil took a tournament with Eldritch. How come you chose rocks?
Me and Cam actually talk almost every day, deck building theories. We go back and forth. He likes zombie cards and setting traps. I like to FTK my opponent. Basically, a tuner and any monster in this deck is an FTK. Any other cards are just extenders or cards you don't have to use to combo, which I think gives this deck the higher power over the Eldritch deck. The Synchro Eldritch deck is really strong, but I think it has to draw a lot of non-engine cards to be able to compete versus the Rock deck, where if I just draw engine, I should be able to outpace any other deck.
Perfect, perfect. Before we jump into your deck profile, would you like to do some shoutouts?
Yeah, obviously, shout outs to Take Notes, best group chat. Shout outs to Come On Hani. We built the deck together night before. Deck was crazy. I didn't have any issues. I didn't brick all weekend. The deck ran super smooth. Even with hands where I drew like one, two, maybe even three garnets in my deck, I just full comboed. It didn't matter. You don't need those extra cards to play. They're just like additional cards in your hand in case your opponent has disruptions. But when you go first, it doesn't matter how many bricks you draw in your hand. You're just going to be able to play through so much because the deck has so much power. Also, shout outs to Bikini Bottom, best Discord server. If you're in it, you know. If you're not in it, that sucks. Obviously, shout outs to Bortle, deck profile. Also, shout outs to Luxury Gaming. They're hosting amazing LCSs. I've entered the first two, great experiences. I feel that everyone should be entering these online tournaments. There's no reason not to. Get in your testing now while you have time on your hands. I mean, there's nothing better to do than play Yu-Gi-Oh. Why not do it and make some money at the same time?
Facts. Well, yeah, take it away with your deck profile, man.
So obviously you have your 9 tuners. They're the basic starters of the deck. The whole deck revolves around them. They all have amazing utility depending if you're going first or second. If you're going first, the one you want to open with is Researcher, so you have it as an extender always at any point in the combo because it's the easiest one to summon. Going second, you want to open Analyzer because it's just a Cyber Dragon. So it's a free summon and it's an extra reveal that you don't normally get to when you go first unless you hard open it or hit it off your Dragite, which is not as likely as hitting your other rocks because of the ratios you have. And you can't summon it off any of the level 2 tuners, so it makes it even harder to get access to it if you don't hard open it, which is why I think Analyzer is the best one going second, while Researcher is the best one going first. And then Seeker is technically the worst one because it has the most restrictions to its special summon effect, but they're all important. They all have the same excavating effect, which is the best part about them, being able to get a free rock from your deck. So you have to max out on all of them. As you guys noticed, no crystals. The crystals don't have synergy with the deck. They're not earths. They're not free special summons, so there's no reason to play them. Then Gigantus, you obviously have to play it as an extender. It's one of the better block dragon searches after you start comboing because it's just a free special summon. It gives you a main deck out to back row, like a lot of floods that you sometimes wouldn't have. That just an engine out to almost any back row cards, while the rest of your engine is able to answer monster effects, which gives you the versatility to compete in such a large event with so many rounds. Two block dragon. I didn't want to play two. I think one's enough. Like obviously drawing it's great, but drawing multiples is really bad. The reason for the second one is because I noticed people were playing Crow. I noticed people were playing Call by the Grave. It was like really impactful going second when they call by the grave your block dragon and it doesn't get to resolve. You start grinding because you don't have the automatic just +3, and you need to be able to get access to the second one to secure your winning push. Sometimes you can do it without block dragon, but just having access to a second one in your deck makes it a lot easier. And I think that's the main reason to play the second one. It adds somewhat more consistency to the deck, but not so much where like you notice it immediately. Over maybe 50 games, you'll notice the difference between having 1 to 2 block dragons in your deck, but it's just really important for when it gets removed from play because then you just don't have access to it anymore. The Gogogo engine, we decided to play a really small engine because we noticed all our bad hands were when we opened multiple Gogogo or Dododo cards, and we wanted to minimize that. One, gloves, because you typically want to just keep recycling gloves because you can special summon it every turn from the graveyard if you control Gigas, which we thought was more important to just have one copy of that floating the whole time, and then 2 Gigas, because that's the one you want to hit out of your deck after you get gloves. And gloves is typically the one you're going to summon off of Doki, so you have higher chances to hit the Gigas and be able to make a rank 4 or have a free extender. Then the 3 Doki, it's one of the better ones to hit off your Emancipator reveal effects, but it's actually one of the weakest normal summons because if it gets hand trapped, it's a lot harder to continue for the fact that it's not an Adamancipators, it's not a tuner, and it's not a level 4. So it really doesn't synergize as much as a starter, more as an extender, and I think people don't realize that when playing the deck. 2 Dinotherium, just a free special summon level 4. Really good. Sucks that it's not an Earth, but you can't get everything in a card. 3 Guardian, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this card. This card was insane. I started off with the deck playing 0 Guardian, and now it's up to 3. It's one of my favorite cards. Protects you from hand traps. The card's really good going second into breaking boards. It's 1900, which is relevant, that it can swing over like any monster, like a Sunlight Wolf that's just smaller than it, to like be able to force interruptions like their traps. Just with one normal summon is really, really important. The Pudding Cess, it's an Earth extender. It's essentially more copies of Dinotherium or more copies of the Pudding Cess, but different names, so you can use multiples in the same turn. Dragon Buster, because I didn't want to lose to Dark Ruler game 1. A lot of people started main decking it after they noticed how popular the Rock deck got, and if you just put up Savage Dragon with Buster Lock, they Dark Ruler you, they just still can't out the Buster Dragon, and then they can't go into their extra deck and you kill them the next turn. So the Dark Ruler didn't do anything. Obviously, O-Lion card's really good. Being able to give you a free +1 with the token's important. It being a wind is really important for Raptite. People undervalue the effect Raptite has on your opponent's turn to be able to DD Crow. There's a lot of times when you start grinding after multiple hand traps or going second through Disruption where you want to leave Raptite on the field, not only because it's an interruption, but it helps you start your plays on the following turn as well, being able to just start off with Raptite effect to reveal the top 5 and special summon either any of the tuners or any of your rocks to continue playing. Then the 6 blowouts, 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Lightning Storm. I don't want to play a deck that can't main deck these. I don't want to play hand traps because 9 times out of 10 they're not enough to be able to stop a turn. I want to be able to draw a card that should win me the game when it resolves. Dark Ruler will win you the game almost every time if they don't have Dragon Buster. And even if they have Dragon Buster, there is some ways you can play through it. It's not common, but it can definitely happen. Then 3 Lightning Storm, all the back row decks. Like I said with Gigantus, I want to have outs to Floodgates. I really don't like trap cards, so I just want to be able to beat them and have just a card that says, if this resolves, I'm going to win.
My goodness.
And that's what Lightning Storm is. That's what Dark Ruler is. Those cards are just unfair, and we're trying to play unfair cards in our deck. Another unfair card, Signs. It's Reborn that's not once per turn that stacks your deck. Like, why would you not play 3 of this card? It's insane. It helps you guarantee your Emancipator effects in the late game when you took a lot of your non-tuner rocks out of your deck and you're not sure if you're going to be able to guarantee a special summon. That's important. Helps you play through Nibiru. It helps you play when they pop your normal summon when you don't open Analyzer. It's just one of the best cards in the deck. Foolish. Foolish is a very versatile card in the deck. It was initially meant to serve as the 3rd copy of Block Dragon without actually being a Block Dragon. So it had a wider range of being used, but it turned out that I foolished cards like O-Lion, or I foolished a card to Signs back, or I would foolish a Gigas or a Gloves a lot more often than I would actually foolish the Block Dragon, because there's just so many ways to get to it, it's unnecessary. It goes back to the reason that I only wanted to play 1, but I had to respect cards like Call by the Grave, cards like DD Crow, and I think Foolish just gave the deck a 1 card that can basically be anything you want, which is Block Dragon, because Block Dragon becomes any 3 monsters in your deck, but it just has the extra versatility of being a tuner, working with Signs. Like, Block Dragon Signs isn't combo, but Foolish Signs is, or Foolish Reborn, and I think that's really important. Then obviously Reborn, it's at 1, no reason not to play it, and the 2 PK traps, so it's just another level 4. I wanted to do a 2-2 split with all my level 4 special summons, that way I don't ever have to conflict with drawing multiples of them and not being able to use them. The best hands are when you draw like 1 of each, so you're able to make Granite or you're able to make a Phoenix, or trying to play into a board without normal summoning going first. Being able to make a Granite just off of your first 2 cards forces them to stop you, and if they don't stop, have access to Block Dragon, and if you resolve it, you're going to win the game, no doubt. Side deck, I think it's pretty standard. 1 Pankratops, 2 Lancia, then Gamma Package. I think it's the best hand trap going second. because it can't be called by the grave. It has the most impact with negating a monster's effect and destroying. It just has the drawback of you have to play driver. I think the power of Gamma is just so high that playing driver is worth it, and some people might not agree, but I think resolving Gamma is such a blowout in the mirror that it warrants being able to play the driver as the one brick. One mind control. Kamal told me to do this last second instead of the third twin twister. It serves similar roles, but I could side mind control versus combo mirrors because it either forces a negate or I get to take one of their cards to play with. And in a deck with a bunch of link monsters, a free monster is a free monster that lets you extend. So mind control becomes an extender going second. It's also really good versus the Eldritch deck when they stand by face Sanguine. You can just go activate mind control, take their lord, and if they have no access to another lord, most of their traps are just dead for the rest of the turn. So you're able to play very freely. The two Twin Twister over Cosmic because I felt this deck needed more blowout cards. It doesn't want to trade with your opponent one for one. You want to be able to take more resources away from them to be able to just kill them. I say Twin Twister's a mini Lightning Storm, if not actually Lightning Storm, especially versus the Eldritch deck going second, because they'll typically start off activating Sanguine, and they'll have 2 to 3 other set back row. When they activate the Sanguine, you just chain Twin Twister, it's basically Lightning Storm. Because you're able to get rid of 2 back row, they showed you the Sanguine, and most likely you know where one of the disruptions is, so the Twin Twister is getting so much value, and it's making your opponent waste a lot more of their resources. With the deck that can OTK, it doesn't matter if you're putting them in the grave or banishing them.
Insane.
Then Imperial Order Red Reboot, the 2 of the best one-up trap cards in the game. Imperial Order, if you draw it and have a way to combo, even if it's not a full combo, you should win the game. Red Reboot going second versus any trap deck is just game. It won me my top 4 match. The card was just insane. And then 3-pointer for going first. I don't want to lose to Sphere Mode. Don't want to lose to like Dark Ruler Lightning Storm. Don't want to lose to Kaijus. Don't want to lose to anything random. The card's just really good. Anti-Spell has the added benefit of working versus like Pendulum and being able to affect multiple cards, but hand knowledge is very important, so I'm able to know what cards to negate in my opponent's hand to prevent them from extending if I appointed them. Unfortunately, I never drew it, but it would have been crazy if I did. The extra deck, super standard, 5 synchros. So you have the 4 basic ones, Dragite, Raptite. These are just your 2 Adamancipator ones, the 2 best ones. Raptite's an extender, Dragite's a board breaker, being able to return cards. Boral Savage because it's an Omni Negate and you equip the Buster to it, no reason not to play it. Herald, obviously, and then the new addition is the Metal Marcher. It comes for a Linkross combo that we worked on. Metal Marcher is really good, and it makes it so any way into Needle Fiber gives you Block Dragon access, which gives you a way to end on at least 2 disruptions. And if you have any extender, you can make your play so you end on Herald Savage Dweller or Herald Savage Dragite or Herald Savage Quakimeru Guardian. It just gives you a lot of ways to guarantee negates outside of using your Adamancipator effects, which is really important. Because sometimes you're just really unlucky and you whiff, and there's nothing you can do about it, or you just draw 1 copy, or you get hand trapped multiple times. But if you resolve your Needle Fiber, you guarantee at least 1 or 2 negates, which is really strong, and it becomes a very good extender going second. Then Dweller, obviously, it's a go-to play games 2 and 3. If you're not able to get to Buster Lock, or if they open like Sphere Mode, Kaijus, anything like that, you want to be able to have an effect that'll last the whole turn, and Dweller beats almost every deck this format, if not every deck. Granted, this card's broken, generic, being able to search Block Dragon, being able to search Researcher. There's nothing more you can say about the card. Bow, standard, Needle Fiber. I mean, this card's insane. It's going to get banned. IP, it's just so you can play on your opponent's turn on top of your negates. It's not needed by any means, but it just gives you an extra layer of security when going second if they just draw insane and they can break through all your negates and they still have to play through an IP into either a Unicorn, a Phoenix, or a Cerberus. It's just really important to have that utility in your extra deck. Like I was saying about the Nightmares, you play all 3 because you want to have just a wide range of effects in your extra deck. A deck like this, the power doesn't come from its main deck, it comes from its extra deck. Every card in my extra deck is so strong and versatile. They all can make boards or break boards, which is what I think makes this deck so much better than the rest. Linkross, obviously, for the new combos, and then Union Carrier. Union Carrier is so dumb. Like, card's generic, it can equip to anything, like, doesn't really have any restrictions besides it can't be linked, but that doesn't matter because you just IP with it on your opponent's turn. It just allows for some boards that shouldn't be made.
Back to Linkross. This is its debut tournament for PPG, right? Because it's from Tourney Code.
Exactly.
That's like the main combo of this deck now, right? To shoot out a Linkross or
Honestly, going into the tournament, I didn't want to play any of the new cards. I told Kamal and I told Hani, I'm like, I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to play the deck as it was. There's no need to change it. Linkross, with the very weak hands, Linkross plays into Nibiru, and I didn't test a lot with the new cards because I wasn't going to enter the PPG initially. I entered Friday night. They told me Friday night that they're like, if you have any X extender, it beats Nibiru 100% of the time. And if you hit Guardian at any point before making Needle Fiber, you beat Nibiru. It has so much versatility. And being able to either make a Raptite off of just Needle Fiber, making a Herald just off Needle Fiber, making Union Carrier to get you Block Dragon. The Linkross gives you so much versatility and being able to get so many different cards out of your deck, whether it's getting tuners out of your deck, getting rocks out of your deck with Block Dragon, getting the Buster Lock out of your deck, being able to make a Raptite or a Herald for disruption or extension. It can do so many different things. There's no reason not to play it. And I realized that in the middle of the tournament how strong the card was. And also, I think Nibiru was not very popular throughout the tournament, so Linkross was a good play. I think I got Nibiru'd once, and I got Nibiru'd on my Linkross combo, and then it just didn't matter. I went Linkross with, I think it was a Seeker in defense position, and I made a Phoenix to make my bow. He Nibiru's me, I go Summon Block Dragon, Link, and I'm able to put up a full combo, break his whole board, bounce the Nibiru back to his hand, end on Dragite, Savage, Buster Lock with IP and a Dweller. And it's just like, there's no reason I should lose that game at any point, even through the Nibiru. And it's all possible because Linkross forced the Nibiru.
my
And I think that
goodness.
was really important. Yeah, there was so many hands where I was playing through multiple hand traps and playing through multiple actual traps or negates. I lost every die roll up until the semifinals and the finals, and I only lost round 7, I think it was, or 6. I don't remember it, to Amir, because game 3 he buster locked me and I drew Dark Ruler and didn't draw another out, and I was not able to break his field. Like things like that you can't really control. Not drawing a hand trap, like out of my control 100%. I think the deck was just insane, and it was built to play through so many cards. One of my rounds I played versus the Synchro Eldritch deck. He opened really good. He goes first. He sets up his board. He has Savage Herald, 2 sets, and 3 cards in hand. I know one of them's a Jet Synchron. So this is a really intimidating board. I look at my hand. I see Lightning Storm. I'm like, this is pretty good, right? So at least I force one of the negates. I start playing through his board. He impermed me. He Veilered me. He ashed me. He had Herald and Savage, and I broke the whole board without using the Lightning Storm or without using one of my tuners in my hand.
That is
Broke
just
apart the
insane.
whole board. Yeah,
Wow.
there's just like the deck has so much power, being able to play through so much disruption, especially going second. It's like it's one of those decks where going second actually can help it sometimes. A lot of combo decks work that way because a 6 card being able to extend through an extra disruption is really strong. Your Nightmare is getting you a lot of value going second, as much not as much as they do going first, because there's not a lot of cards to disrupt. They get you more values, free cards, because you get to co-link them. So you're going +1 every time you activate their effects in a deck that inherently already pluses. So you out advantage your opponent. Even though they're disrupting you, you just are going to have enough cards to play through their board. And you don't have to kill them after they throw all their disruptions at you. You just have to be able to break their board and at least leave 1, maybe 2 interruptions, because at that point they should be top decking, and a top deck shouldn't be enough to be able to break your 1 to 2 interruptions with a Block Dragon in graveyard for a follow up on the next turn.
Yikes. Well, there you have it, guys. If you don't have Linkross, you need to get it now. My goodness. Well, thank you so much, Ruben, for coming back to the channel and, swearing about winning this 2K from the PPG event. And everyone at home should definitely try out these online tournaments because you have nothing better to do because, we can't play Yu-Gi-Oh right now physically. My goodness. Any final thoughts, Ruben?
Just to swear a little more, I mean, the deck was crazy. I really don't think any deck can compete to the Rocks deck, at least right now. Maybe new combos get developed, new deck strategies are formed, and there's something that can compete. But right now, it's just at a whole different power level than anything else in the format. The Zombie Eldritch deck had to incorporate a Synchro Needle Fiber engine just to be able to keep up, on top of main decking anywhere between 9 to 15 hand traps. When a deck has to do so much to just keep up with a standard rock deck, you know it's the best deck by miles. When every other deck is adapting to beat you, it's for a reason. And I don't think people have fully realized that. And I don't think enough people have tested the rock deck. I don't think this is its final form by any means. I think it can get better, it can get improved. But that only happens with people getting on their computers and playing in these tournaments, testing out new things. You know, it's fun. Like, yeah, maybe one tournament you don't do well in. That's why there's the next one. There's no reason to not play in these tournaments.
There you have it. And these tournaments are weekly, and some tournaments are actually daily too, every day. My goodness. Well, again, thank you, Ruben, for coming on this channel.
Of course, thank you for having me.
And if you're not a part of Bortle Nation, sub for Bortle. It's that easy and it's free. Oh God, yes. Until next time, Bortle Nation, Bortle out.